Hello and welcome back to another week of Sambo iRacing. We're back in the Porsche 911 992R, the GT3 at Miami International Grand Prix edition for its debut on iRacing. Whew. Right, if you want to race the exact setup being used in this guide, you can, if you so wish, go to our website, sambosetups.com, or you can go to our Patreon page. There is a link for both in the description. And if you want to improve your own skills at iRacing, you can contact Gianni Lutzu, who's actually doing this guide and doing the lap for us. 10,500 real-life racing driver, full-time driver coach, LutzuDriverPerformance.com, link in the description. See who we have him going, smashing over the start-finish line. Looking for the 150 marker on the brakes up to about 70%. As always, down to second gear, nicely back on the gas. Just a lift as we go through 2. A lift as we go through 3, but not quite as large. Now he's hooking it back over to the right-hand side here. And he's going to brake at this blue signage. On the brakes up to about 40%. Back on the gas in 4th. Porsche not loving the curbs quite as much as the Mustang or Ferrari. Now on the brakes up to about 16%, long on them, but very, very light. Smoothly back on the gas in 2nd. Now he's going to cut back across the track, trying to keep it as short as possible. Now we're looking for the 150 marker. As we get there, on the brakes up to about 60%, why pull that speed off? Down to first gear at the apex, back on the gas. Lightly on the brakes as we go through there, just to keep that balance over the front tyres. Now on the brakes, slightly harder. Be careful through this chicane. Now you would think the agility of the Porsche would set it apart here. But it hasn't. Right, looking for the 150 board as we get there. On the brakes again, up to about 70%, all the way down to first at the apex. Back on the gas, and we're just going to power through now all the way to the finish. Keeping off that curve on the left-hand side, cutting the corner, but keeping the wheels on the track on the left there. And over and across the line he goes in a 53. Okay, here we are on the breakdown lap. The first braking marker just before we get to the 100 board. And again, he holds it around 70%, wipes all that speed off, down to second gear, and he starts picking back up on the gas at the apex. Now he's just going to do a lift before he gets to the curb. And now he's going to do a lift again, the second part, slightly smaller one this time. Right, so ignore the 50. What we're looking for is the blue signs coming up here. We're going to get on the brakes just before we get to them. And again, holding it about 40%, trail that off, back on the gas in 4th, just clipping the curb. And now exactly the same, but in reverse. Back on the gas in 3rd this time. And we're going to cut this corner, so keeping the right-hand tyres on the cross-hatching here, but you can really cut the corner as you can see. And now he's going to do a little blip of gas before then trailing off again and just on the brakes, long, around 10%, picking back up on the gas in 2nd as soon as you can see that bollard on the left. He's all the way over to the right-hand side here, nice and tight up to the wall. And you can see fuel level, it is quite low, 18 litres left. This is where we're looking for the 150. It feels like you're braking far too early here, but this is where it is. So on the brakes just before he gets there. And again, just holding it, trailing off all the way down to first, getting nice and tight, but not actually jumping over this curb on the inside. We did just kiss it. And here he's just on sort of 2 or 3% brakes until now when he starts picking back up on the gas. Now we're going to start braking. So we're doing a lift already, but we're going to start braking once we're sort of mid-corner and pointing towards these marshals up ahead. As you can see, So initial braking, and then he blips it up to about 30%. Now trails it back off into first. Now this is exactly the way you want to be pointing through here, because we want to try and cut this corner that's coming up without hitting this bollard. So here we go, jumping over it, back on the gas, over to the right-hand side. Never actually made it up to full gas. And now on the brakes up to about 35%. Trail that off, trying to pick back up on the gas as soon as you're seeing this MIA logo on the left-hand side. Looking for the 150 on the right here. So we just go through that, and now he's on the brakes, and again holds that around 70%. You can brake later and harder, but you're going to have a problem during the rest of the race because your tyres will go off. And he makes it through in a 53.9. Right, one final version coming up next with the driving line on without me talking. So that'll be